Okay, so this is our trip to Munger Road.
We are right now on a road that's been haunted for
Yeah,
years.
everybody has a story about Munger Road.
I heard that a little girl was murdered out here.
We're gonna put baby powder on the bumper for physical proof that paranormal activity exists right here on Munger Road.
Guys.
Whoa, okay. Slow and steady.
Lights.
Don't light. What do you see?
What do we got?
Put it on your desk. Fax just came in.
Shay Gunther escaped.
What about the festival tomorrow?
We're projecting at least 6,000 people this weekend. We can't have a panic on our hands.
Yeah, well, we may have something worth panicking about.
And here we go.
I'm Brian. We're here again to talk about our next film review. Tonight we saw opening night of Munger Road, which is only playing at the St. Charles Theater for a midnight showing, as the movie was filmed in St. Charles as well as Bartlett and Wayne and that kind of general area. Before we get started, I just wanted to kind of make it clear from our last review, our reviews are our opinions of the movie. It's just kind of how we feel, and we're not trying to glorify it, we're not trying to rag on it, we're just giving you a true, honest-to-God opinion. So we're going to get started. I got Bobby and Joe here, and we're going to get going.
Hey, I'm Bobby.
And I'm Joe.
So, Brian, would you like to tell us about, a little backstory about, the movie, the director, and the producer?
Yeah, definitely, Bob. So, long and short of it, first-time director, first-time writer. He's a St. Charles native. He grew up in the area. He decided to make the movie because when he got his license, the big thing was, Munger Road, let's go drive out to Munger Road. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
All right, so Munger Road starts off in St. Charles, pretty close to where we live. About 4 teenagers live in the area, and they want to test the Munger Road urban legend. And how would you say the story?
The story unfolds by these kids meeting up in a cafe, complaining about the amount of baby powder they need. Once they get all the necessary needs, they get in the car. They drive their way down to Munger Road. They're telling the story. I think you have to, put your car, you gotta stop your car in the tracks, put in neutral, put baby powder on it, get back in the car, and then mystery unfolds. Sidetracking from that, there's a side story with 2 cops. They just found out a murderer just, got loose.
Put it on your desk. Fax just came in.
Shay Gunther escaped.
The van that was carrying him, fell off the road and he's loose. So, they're trying to connect the Munger Road story with the murderer.
Long story short, what starts out as a regular night trying to scare a few people becomes a total disaster.
All right, yeah, great. So right off the bat, first thing that I really enjoyed about the movie, the story starts as late as possible, tells the audience just the bare minimum knowledge that we need to know, and then we just kind of really get going with all the rising action and all of the major events of the film.
Yeah, what I liked about it is the suspense. Honestly, the movie could be have a terrible plot, but the suspense.
Which it did.
Yeah. But the suspense really roped me in. I was at the edge of my seat the whole time, biting my nails, wondering what's happening next, what's going to happen.
Yeah, all right, Brian. You mentioned that the plot was terrible. It was crap. How I felt was there really wasn't much going on. I felt confused at the beginning of the movie, the whole Munger Road thing, the whole the part where they put the baby powder on the bumper. When that scene happened, it was just all dark. Didn't know what was going on. That really took me away from the movie, and after that it was just downhill from there.
The plot is what drives the story and the characters forward. All the characters in a good film should go through a character arch. And what this is your main characters will start with a flaw, and by the end of the film they'll have shed their flaw, or they'll completely have accepted it and take on that new lifestyle. That's your character arch. And what I see here, as I see with many thrasher slasher films or scary movies, is there isn't any of that going on. There's nothing that these characters, they're not going on any sort of journey. It's just, here's our story about the creepy killer guy and we're trying to get away alive. And that's not a good story.
With the movie, it was, you're supposed to feel like you're sucked in, like you're almost the cameraman watching this in real life. But you notice all these little flaws, like there was very few people walking around St. Charles.
That's true.
There was 2 cops. You think there'd be at least, 5 or 6 on staff that night.
There is nobody in the entire town whatsoever, besides firefighters, 2 cops, and a girl named Jo. What else?
They're in the middle of nowhere is the words that they use in the film. And for anyone who's local to the area, who's watching this right now, knows Munger Road railroad tracks is just maybe 2.5 miles away from Bartlett, another 3.5 miles away from downtown Wayne. All you have to do is walk down the road. You'll find help. But no, let's just walk down the train tracks, and these train tracks will lead us right into town, which is downtown St. Charles, but those tracks don't lead to downtown St. Charles. Just saying. A little bit of an error.
My honest opinion, this movie was shit. It was garbage. I think maybe, like 45 minutes into it, I wanted to fall asleep. This movie was boring, it was crap, and Joe, what'd you think? Just say it was crap.
I don't want to say it was crap.
Alright, fine.
Because I enjoyed myself in the theater. I was at the edge of my seat. I liked it. I'll admit, the plot wasn't that great, but they kept me watching. And it was just the suspense. I like suspense, so that's what I enjoyed. To be honest, I would rate it 8 out of 10, because even though there were some minor flaws to it, it kept me in the whole movie. It kept me watching.
There was a lot of flaws. Shit plot, shit characters, no character arch whatsoever. Because I'm not an asshole, I won't give it a 1. I'll give it a 1.5 stars, whatever you want to give it. Pieces of poop. Yeah, whatever. What'd you think, Brian? I know you loved this movie.
Alright, I wouldn't quite say I loved it. Overall rating, I would have to be in like the 6.5 range. Looking at everything we got, there's, like you said, no story behind, or no plot behind it, just a story, a myth, and characters that we couldn't identify with, and just, you have something again, but you don't capitalize on the moments. That's our opinion. That's what we think. Go see it for yourself if you'd like, especially for anyone who's local. It's kind of cool to see St. Charles on the big screen, but let us know what you think of our review. Comment, subscribe, just don't forget, you picked it up on the cutting room floor.
Guys, Corey just sent you a message.
What?
What'd he say?